Good evening, guys. In the last session, we completed our discussion related to data types and variables. Today, we are going to understand mainly three things in Java. First one is identifiers. Today, our agenda, what is identifier in the Java and how to work with identifiers. And second one, keywords in Java. What are the keywords available in the Java? And the third one, Java naming conventions. Java naming conventions. So today we are going to cover all these three important points. Good. First one is identifier. Second one is keywords. Third one, Java naming conventions. Is my voice clear for everybody? Is my voice clear for everybody? Confirm in the chat box. Yes, perfect. Good. Now, so first one, what is identifier in the Java? Identifiers in Java. Guys, whenever we are working with Java programming language, we are going to create a class. We are going to create a class. First, we have seen that package will be available. Then import statements will be available. Package statement will be available. Import statements will be available. Class will be available. Variable will be available. And the methods will be available. So like this, we are going to work with packages, import statements, classes, variables, and the methods in Java. All these components, package requires a name, class requires a name, variable requires a name, method also requires name. All Java components requires some name. Whatever the components you are writing, all the Java components requires a name. If you are declaring a variable, we are declaring variable as int age. Age is a variable name. Suppose if you are creating a class hello, hello is a name. Hello is a name. So whenever we are creating a package, or when you are creating a class, when you are creating a variable, when we are creating a method, all Java components requires a name. The name that we are using for the Java components is called as identifier. What is a identifier? Identifier means the name that we are using for variables, the name that we are using for methods, the name that we are using for class is called as identifier. The name which we are using, the name which we are using for packages are variables, classes, and methods is called as identifier is called as identifier is called as identifier. Are you guys able to understand what is a identifier? We are working with Java programming language. In the Java programming language, we need to work with the classes, we need to work with the variables, we need to work with the methods, and we need to work with the packages. So if I want to declare a variable, we already discussed about variables. Variables are used to store the data. To store the data into a variable, we need to specify data type. If we want to create a class requires some name. If you want to create a method, main method we are writing. Main is the name of the method. Here logic will be available. Here components will be available. Code will be available here. Variable requires some name. Class requires some name. Method also requires some name. The name which we are using for packages, variables, classes, and methods is called as identifier. Okay, so to write the identifiers, there are some rules given by Java to work with identifiers. Java provided few rules. Java provided few rules to work with identifiers. Sir, can I use any name for the class? Can I use any name for the class? Yes, you can use any name for the class, but there are some rules provided by Java. We need to understand those rules. The name which we are using for packages, our variables, our classes and methods is called as identifier. Java provided few rules to work with identifiers. Sir, what are the rules available to work with identifier? The first rule is the only allowed characters for identifier are below. Java will allow Java will allow only below characters for identifiers. Characters for identifiers. So the first one is it will allow characters from A to Z. All the lowercase characters from A to Z is accepted for identifier name. All the uppercase characters from A to Z is allowed, and it is going to allow all the numbers from 0 to 9. All the numbers from 0 to 9 it will accept. Coming to special characters, underscore is allowed and a dollar symbol is also allowed. Only these characters are allowed for identifiers. So this is dollar. Okay. So here, whenever we are writing a program, you need to use some identifiers. All Java components requires some name. So the name that we are using for the component is called as identifier. Sir, how to use these identifiers? There are some rules provided by Java. The rule 1, Java will allow only below characters for identifiers. You can use any character from A to Z, both lowercase characters and uppercase characters. You can use any number from 0 to 9. You can use any number from 0 to 9. The special symbols, dollar is allowed, underscore is allowed. Underscore is allowed. Okay, guys. Now, for example, if I take name, is it a valid identifier or is it an invalid identifier, guys? I'm taking name. Is it a valid or it is invalid? Can you guys tell me? Is it valid or it is invalid? Name. I'm taking name here. Name is valid or name is invalid? Name is valid. Name is valid. If I am taking name at the rate, is it valid or is it invalid? If I take a variable name as name at the rate, is it valid or it is invalid? Why it is invalid? At the rate symbol is allowed in the Java or at the rate symbol is not allowed in the Java? At the rate symbol is not allowed in the Java. So this is invalid. This is invalid. Can I take age like this? Can I take a variable name as age ash? Can I take it as a age ash? Age ash is a valid or it is a invalid? That is also invalid because ash is not accepted. Ash is not accepted. Special symbols only, dollar is accepted and underscore is accepted. At the rate is not accepted. Ash also not accepted in the identifier. That is the first rule. That is the first rule. So whenever you are working with Java identifiers, you need to follow this first rule. Only these characters are allowed. Remaining all characters are not allowed. So this is valid. This is invalid. So only first one valid, second one, third one, both are invalid. Okay. Next, what is the second rule? What is the second rule? Identifier should not start with a digit. Identifier should not start with the digit. The first character should not be the digit. First character should not be digit. First character should not be digit. So whenever you are taking one age or one age, is it valid or is it invalid in Java? Is it valid? Is it invalid in Java? I'm writing a variable name age. Age starting with character 1 or number 1. Identifier should not start with a digit. So this will become invalid. If I take like this, if I take like this age 2, is it valid or is it invalid? Age 2 I'm taking 2. 2 is allowed, 0 to 9 any number is allowed. Only first character should not be digit. So first character should not be digit. This is invalid. But this is valid. This is valid. This is valid. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? What is the first rule? Java will allow only these characters for the identifiers. What is the second one? Identifier should not start with a digit. 1 age, it is invalid. Age 2, it is valid. If I take it like this, name 3, is it valid or is it invalid? Name 3, valid or invalid? It is valid. It is valid. First character should be alphabet. After that, it can be anything, right? So here, first digit should not be digit. So here, first character is alphabet. So it is a valid. Once it is alphabet, then you can use anything. You can use anything. And the next one, and the third rule in the Java identifiers, Java reserved words should not be used as identifier. Java reserved words should not be used as identifier. In Java there are 53 reserved words are available. In the Java there are 53 reserved words available. Are you guys getting my point? How many words are reserved by Java? Simple one. If you want to go from Hyderabad to Bangalore, you reserved a bus ticket. If you reserve a bus ticket, can anybody use the same seat? If you reserve the seat, can anybody use the same seat? Can anybody use the same seat? No, it is not possible, right? So we are doing advanced booking. So seat number 23, you reserved. When you reserve that bus ticket, but that particular seat, nobody else can use that. Nobody else can book the same seat in the bus. So similarly, in the Java, they have reserved 53 words. Those 53 words are called as Java reserved words. Those 53 words are called as Java reserved words. Yesterday, I have given one image in the WhatsApp group. Did you guys check that image? What are the reserved words available in the Java? Yesterday, I have given you one image. So that image represents all the Java reserved words, guys. So total, how many reserved words available in Java now? Can you look at this? How many reserved words available in Java? 53 reserved words are available. Those are called as keywords in the Java. So total there are 53 keywords available in Java. Those are also called as reserved words. When it comes to the data type, byte, short, char, int, long, float, double, boolean, 8 keywords are used for data types. 8 keywords available for data types. So similarly, when it comes to the flow controls, our next topic is control statements, operators, control statements available. Our unit 2 is related to control statements. So when it comes to the control statements, here there are some keywords are reserved by Java. If, else, do, while, for, switch, case, default, break, continue, return. These are the keywords used by Java. In the OOPS concepts, we are going to discuss about the modifiers: public, private, protected, static, final, abstract, synchronized, strict FP, native, transient, volatile. When it comes to the exception handling in the Java, some keywords are reserved: try, catch, finally, throw, throws, assert, there are some keywords available for exception handling. When we are working with the classes, we will use a keyword called package keyword. We will use import keyword. We will use a class keyword. We will use interface keyword. We will use extends keyword. We will use implements keyword. These are related to class component. These keywords are related to class component. When it comes to the object, so in the OOPS, we are going to work with the classes and objects, right? When it comes to the object, there are 4 keywords are reserved for objects. Super keyword, this keyword, new keyword, instance of keyword, like that there are 4 keywords available. And some miscellaneous keywords are available. Void, method return type, enum for data types, true, false, null. Like that there are some other keywords also available. And there are 2 keywords available in the Java which we are not going to use. Constant. To represent a constant keyword is available, and goto is available. These are 2 keywords we are not going to use in the Java, but those are reserved keywords. So total there are 53 reserved words available in the Java. So from these 53, we cannot use anything as an identifier. So what I mean to say is, can I declare my variable like this? Int byte is equal to 20. Can I use byte as a variable name? Variable name nothing but identifier. Can I use byte as a identifier? Data type and variable name. Data type is integer, variable name is byte. Can I use byte as a variable name now? Why I cannot use byte as a variable name? Byte is a reserved word. Byte is a reserved word. Invalid because byte is a reserved word. Byte is a reserved word. Okay. Now similarly, can I declare a variable byte variable name? Byte for is equal to 25. Can I use a for as a identifier? Invalid because for is a reserved word. Because for is a reserved word. Are you guys getting my point? Int try is equal to 30. Can I use int try is equal to 30? Is it valid or invalid? Invalid because try is a reserved word. So how many reserved words available in Java? So total how many reserved words available in the Java, guys? How many reserved words available in Java? So total there are 53 reserved words available in the Java. So total there are 53 reserved words available in the Java. So could you please read all the reserved words? You need to remember their names because we should not use these names for our components. I'm giving 2 minutes of time. All of you please read all the 53 reserved words available in the Java. I have given the list of all the 53. 2 minutes of time, read everything. So whenever you are writing an identifier, you should not use these names. These are not allowed. Whenever we are writing an identifier, we should not use these names. For class name or for variable name or for method name or for the package name, we should not use these keywords. These are reserved words by Java. Officially, they reserved these words. We cannot use these words for our identifier. Identifier means the name that we are using for a class or for a variable or for a method. Are you guys reading that? I have already shared it in the WhatsApp group, the screenshot. Reading. Read once again, guys. You need to remember these names because we should not use these names. You can use any name for a identifier apart from these 53. These are officially reserved. Java reserved these words. Java reserved these words. हम इसको use नहीं कर सकते. We cannot use these things. Finally is available here. Finally is available here. Finally is available and finally is available. Difference between final, finally, finalize we'll discuss in the coming classes. Finally is a keyword. Finally is also a keyword. Completed, guys. Is it completed? Finalized is not a keyword. Finalized is a method in the Java. That is not a keyword. Final is a keyword. Finally is a keyword. Final is a keyword. Finalize is a keyword. Final, finally, both are keywords. Finalized is a method that we will discuss in the coming sessions. Now, all these Java reserved words can be classified. Okay, so these are reserved words in the Java. How many reserved words available in the Java, guys? Total there are 53 reserved words available in the Java. These 53 reserved words are again divided into keywords and literals. These are divided into keywords and literals. So there are reserved literals. Literals nothing but values that we are storing. So there are 3 reserved literals are available and the remaining 50 are keywords. Okay, remaining 50 are keywords. Coming to reserved literals, literal nothing but the value that we are storing. True is one reserved literal. False is one reserved literal. Null is one reserved literal. And coming to keywords, again keywords are divided into 2 types. One is used keywords. One is used keywords. Used keywords are 48. Unused keywords are 2. Used keywords are 48 and unused keywords are 2. Got my point? So like this, they have segregated all the reserved words available in the Java. Okay, used keywords that we have seen already. Already we have seen that if will be available, else will be available, for will be available, int will be available, boolean will be available, etc. So there are 48 keywords are used. What are the 2 unused keywords available? Unused keywords go to is one unused keyword. Constant is one unused keyword in the Java. Okay, guys. So reserved keywords are available. Reserved words are available. Reserved words are divided into 2 types. So first one is keywords and the second one is literal. First one is keyword and the second one is literal. So total there are 50 keywords available and 3 reserved literals are available. Reserved literal nothing but the value that we are storing. Literal means value. Identifier means name. Identifier means name. Now again, these keywords are divided into 2 types. Again, keywords are divided into 2 types. So 48 keywords are used keywords and 2 keywords are unused keywords. Two keywords are unused keywords. Like this, we can segregate reserved words in the Java. Like this, we can segregate reserved words in the Java. So total there are 53 reserved words available in the Java. So the 53 reserved words are divided into mainly two categories. First one is called as keywords. Second one is called as literals. Keywords and literals. So literals are three: true, false, and null. Keywords are 50. The 50 keywords are divided into two parts: used keywords, unused keywords. Used keywords are 48. Unused keywords are 2. What are those two which are unused keywords? Go to is one unused keyword. Constant is one unused keyword. Why? Because instead of constant in the Java, they have provided final. Final is the replacement for the constant. If you want to declare any constant variable, we can use final. And go to keyword is available in the other programming languages, which is making the programmers confused. So that's why that go to is removed in the Java, but it is a reserved word in the Java. We cannot use it for the identifier. Look at this diagram, how the classification has done. 53 reserved words are divided into two parts: keywords and literals. Keywords are 50, literals are 3. 50 keywords are again divided into two types: used keywords 48, unused keywords 2. Used keywords if, else, for, int, boolean, like that, so many keywords are there. Unused keywords 2, go to, constant, like that, there are unused keywords are available. Unused keywords are 2, go to and constant. Literals, true, false, null, these are the reserved literals. So we cannot use these things for our identifier. We cannot use these identifiers. Are you guys clear with the three rules? What is the first rule of the identifier and what is the identifier in the Java? All Java components requires a name. Class requires a name, method requires a name, variable requires a name. So whenever we are writing the names, we need to follow some rules. The name that we are writing is called as identifier. The first rule, the Java identifier can have only these characters. Identifier can have only these characters. Apart from these, any other character is not accepted. And the second one, identifier should not start with a digit. First character should not be a digit. First character should not be a digit. And Java reserved words should not be used as identifiers. 53 reserved words available in the Java. 53 reserved words available in the Java. Now, if you see here, I'm going to take a long phone number. Long phone number is equal to some value. Is it valid or it is invalid? I'm storing long phone number. Is it valid or it is an invalid identifier? Phone number is a valid or phone number is not valid? Phone number is a reserved word in the Java or phone number is not a reserved word in the Java? Phone number is a reserved word in the Java or phone number is not a reserved word in the Java? It is not a reserved word in the Java. So if I use a long phone number, is it valid or it is invalid? Is it valid? Is it valid or it is invalid? It is valid. It is valid. Are you guys clear with this? Next, coming to rule number 4. Coming to rule number 4. Java is case sensitive language. Java is case sensitive language. Java is a case sensitive language. Okay. So now here, when I use name and name, both are not same. Name and name, both are not same. So this also we need to remember when we are writing identifiers. When we are writing identifiers, we need to remember this part also. When we are writing identifier, we need to remember this part also. If you write one variable with lowercase characters and another variable with uppercase characters, both are not same, both are different. Both are different. So these are the rules that we need to follow when we are working with identifiers in the Java. Are you guys clear with my point? Are you guys clear with my point? Identifiers in the Java. Shall I move on to the next topic now? Shall I move on to the next topic now? Yes. Do you want to read the notes once again? Yeah, if you want, you can read. I will give 2 minutes of time. Identifiers. All Java components requires some name. For the variable, we need a name. All Java components requires a name. Variables need a name. For variables, for classes, and for methods, we need a name. We need a name. The name which we are using for packages, variables, classes, and methods is called as identifier. We can use any name for the identifier, but Java provided few rules to work with the identifier. We can use any name for identifier. We can use any name for identifiers, but Java provided, but we need to follow below rules to work with identifiers. We need to follow below rules to work with identifiers. Who provided these rules? These rules I am deciding. Are these rules decided by Java? Who decided these rules, guys? I am deciding these rules. Are Java? Java. What is the rule 1? Only these characters are allowed. Only these characters are allowed. Okay. And first character should not be digit. Java reserved words should not be used as identifier. How many reserved words available in Java? There are 53 reserved words available in the Java. I have given the cheat sheet for the 53 reserved words. 53 reserved words available. Those 53 reserved words are categorized like this. Okay. And the next one. Lowercase letter and uppercase letter both are not same. Here phone number is a identifier. Long is a data type. Long is a data type. Phone number is a identifier. That's why this is valid. Here try is a reserved word. For is a reserved word. Byte is a reserved word. That's why these three are invalid. Phone number is a name identifier. Data type is long. Variable data type, variable name. That's why it is valid. Java is a case sensitive language. Lowercase letters variable name, uppercase letters variable name, both are not same. Not same. Are you guys clear with my point? Now, and somebody is asking, sir, when I'm writing a variable, for example, let me take one Java class. So when I'm writing a variable, can I use white space? Can I use a white space for the variable name? So let us take one example. Let us take one example. Now I'm taking one Java class here. In this Java class, I'm writing integer one name. Integer one name. Guys, observe carefully. When I take integer one name, is it allowing me? Is it allowing me? It is showing the error immediately. It is showing me the error immediately. So now I'm taking name 1. It is allowing me. Name @ Is it accepting @? See here, invalid. Now I am using name first space name. I'm using first space name. So when I'm writing a variable, is it accepting the white spaces? Is it accepting the white spaces? No. White spaces are not allowed. So let me make it as another rule here. Spaces are not allowed in identifiers. Not allowed in identifiers. Now, for example, integer first space name is equal to Ashok. So it is invalid. This is invalid. This is invalid. Okay. Sorry. This is invalid. Integer, or else I can say mobile bill. Integer mobile space bill is equal to 400. Invalid. Mobile space bill. I cannot use two things here. If you want to do like this, then what you need to do? Into mobile underscore bill is equal to 400. This is valid. This is valid. You can use underscore for the variable name. When you cannot write the space like this, spaces are not allowed in the identifiers. Spaces are not allowed in the identifiers. Java is case sensitive language. Now, if you see here, if I am writing int mobile bill, is it allowing me? No, it is invalid. I can write the same thing like this, int mobile underscore bill. So mobile underscore bill, this is valid name, but this is invalid. Spaces are not accepted. Spaces are not accepted. So that is another rule. Spaces are not allowed in the identifiers. Java is a case sensitive language. Lowercase letter and uppercase letters both are not same. Both are not same. Can we use a dollar as a first character? So people are asking, can we use a dollar as a first character? Now, am I able to use it? Am I able to use the dollar as a first character? And can I use long bill? Underscore bill, can I use like this? Underscore bill, can I use like this? Is it valid? First character should not be digit. First character should not be digit. Dollar is accepted. Underscore is also accepted. And can I use byte at the rate? Can I use byte at the rate amount? Is it valid? No. At the rate is not accepted. First of all, what are the special characters are accepted? Only dollar is accepted. Underscore is accepted. At the rate is not at all accepted. At the rate character itself is not accepted in the Java. So we cannot use that. First character can be dollar or it can be underscore. If I take a digit for the first position, it is not accepted. It is not accepted. So these are the rules for the identifiers. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4, and rule 5. Clear, guys? Is this clear? Can I use a dollar and underscore at the first position? Can I use a dollar and underscore at the first position? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. What is the rule for the first character? First character should not be digit. First character should not be digit. We should not use the number. You can use any alphabet. From the special characters, you can use dollar or underscore. Dollar or underscore. So if I take like this, is it valid? Underscore name, it is valid. And if I take dollar name, it is also valid. If I take at the rate name, it is invalid. Invalid. Right, guys? Underscore is valid, dollar is valid, at the rate itself, this character itself is not accepted in the Java. That's why it is invalid. Invalid. Perfect, guys. Somebody is asking, can we use a dollar and underscore both at a time? Yes, why not? Dollar underscore. This is also valid. Dollar and underscore both you can use at a time. No problem. Both you can use at a time. There is no problem. You can use this. This is also valid. This is also valid. Got it? Good. So I think we are clear with identifiers in the Java. I think we are clear with identifiers in the Java. Next one. Guys, the next part is Java naming conventions. Java naming conventions. Some people will also call it as Java coding conventions. Some people will call it as Java naming conventions, and some people will call it as Java coding conventions. Now, we have seen the rules. We have seen the rules. We have seen the rules. Okay. So someone is asking, sir, in the documentation comments we are writing @ symbol. In the Java, @ is not accepted. Then how you are using @ symbol? So in the documentation comments, we can use it. Commented means compiler will not consider that. Na. Commented means compiler will not consider that. Na. That's why when I am writing a documentational comments, I can use @. When I am writing documentational comments, I can use @. So this is commented code. This is commented code. Commented code will not be considered by compiler, will not considered by JVM. Commented in the commented code, whatever you write, they will not consider it. They will ignore it. They will ignore it. So in the comments, you can keep anything. We need to understand that identifier means that which we are using in the program, which we are using in the program. Okay, fine. So identifier means the name. For the identifiers, there are some rules available and we have to follow those rules. Next one, Java naming conventions. Java provided some naming conventions to follow while working with Java language. We are using names, identifiers we are using, package names we are using, class names we are using, package names we are using, class names we are using, and all. Somebody is asking _1 is valid or not. You think, man, you think it. So if I take like this, is it valid or not? It's valid only. What is that? First character is _. After only first character should not be the digit. Here digit is a second character. It is accepted. Why it will not accept it? Underscore is the first character. Underscore is accepted. Second character onwards, it can be anything. It can be anything. This is also valid. This is also valid. _1 bill. It is valid. It is valid. Let me write it. Underscore is the first character. Valid. Okay. Fine. Chalo. Good. Next one, Java naming conventions. Sir, what is the meaning of Java naming conventions? What is the meaning of Java naming conventions? Java naming conventions means some of the best practices. The first thing is Java has provided some standards. Java language followed some standards for predefined classes, for predefined packages, classes, and methods. Java language suggested Java programmers also to follow same standards. Okay, so in the Java language, there are so many predefined packages available, and so many predefined classes available, and so many predefined methods available. So we are using Java language, which is developed by Sun Microsystem. In this Java language, there are so many predefined packages available, predefined classes available, predefined methods available. So these Java people followed some standards, conventions, naming conventions they followed for predefined packages, classes, and methods. Java language suggested Java programmers also to follow same standards. So following the standards is not mandatory. Following following these standards, following these standards is not mandatory but highly recommended. Identifier rules are mandatory. You have to follow. There is no option. There is no option. Identifiers means some rules are available. You need to follow those rules. There is no option. But when it comes to naming conventions, Java is a language developed by Sun Microsystem. In the Java language, there are so many predefined packages available, predefined classes available, predefined methods available. In future, we are going to create our own packages. We are going to create our own classes. We are going to create our own methods. We are going to create our own packages. We are going to create our own classes, and we are going to create our own methods. Now, for the Java, for these things, those people followed, Sun Microsystem followed some standards. And they told the Java people also to follow the same standards. Sir, these standards are mandatory or these standards are optional? These standards are optional. These standards are not mandatory, but these standards are recommended. So what is the recommendation they have given for that? Class name. So for the class name, they have given some standard. Naming convention for class. Naming convention for class name. So what those two people told that is, here guys, whatever the conventions that we are discussing, these are not mandatory, but highly recommended. Naming convention for the class name. Naming convention for the class name. Every word in the class name, a class name can contain any number of words without space. A class name can contain any number of words without spaces. A class name can contain any number of words without any spaces. Recommended to write every word first letter as uppercase. Recommended to write every word first letter as uppercase. Recommended to write every word first letter as uppercase. For example, writing class hello. Here, hello is a class name. Hello is a class name. There is only one word available. So the first character of the word we are making as capital. So that is the recommended approach. You can write like this also. This is also valid. This is the identifier. You can use any name for the identifier. Identifier rules I am following. There should not be any special character apart from underscore and dollar. And we should not start first character with the digit. We should not use reserved words for the identifier name. There is no white space available. These are all the identifier rules I have followed. And they are telling that whenever we are writing a class name, so you can write a class name with any number of words. Recommended to write every word first letter as uppercase. Every word first letter or first character as uppercase. Suppose we are using hello. This is also valid and this is also valid. Writing the first character as uppercase is recommended. Similarly, I can write a class with a hello world. Hello world. Hello world is a single class name. There is no space available. There is no space available. This is my identifier. I am following all the rules of the identifier. I am following all the rules of the identifier. Recommended to write every word first character as uppercase. Hello is one word, world is one word. In the hello, H is uppercase. In the world, W is uppercase. Suppose, for example, if I am taking the class name as user management service. If I'm taking the class name as user management service, so now if you take user is one word, management is one word, service is one word. In every word, I'm writing first character as a uppercase. So this is recommended convention for the class names. Recommended. But is it mandatory? Is it mandatory to write like this? Or is it recommended approach? Is it mandatory? Is it mandatory or is it recommended convention? Recommended. Recommended. Now you see, in my project, there are so many classes I have. In my project, there are so many classes I have. Can you see here I am taking welcome REST controller. You see welcome REST controller. Can you see the class name that I am using now? Welcome is one word, REST is one word, controller is one word. Okay, this is my class name. This is my class name. So do you understand what is the naming convention for the classes? So Java language class names, predefined classes will follow the same convention, and Sun Microsystem told us also to follow the same convention. It is recommended. It is highly recommended to follow the same convention. Java already following that. Java already following that. And they told us to follow the same convention. If you have single word, write the first character as uppercase. If you have 2 words, 3 words, every word first character is uppercase. Now I told you here recommended. It's not mandatory. Now you see, previously we developed some programs. Previously we developed our programs. Welcome.java. What is the class name I'm using? Welcome. I'm using W as a uppercase. That is recommended. That is recommended. Now see here, I'm going to create another class, new text document. I'm using demo.java. I'm using demo.java. So I'm going to write class demo. I'm going to write a class demo. Is it valid or it is not valid? Guys, is my program is valid or my program is not valid? My program is valid. Okay, system dot out dot println welcome to Java. Here class name is starting with uppercase character, class name starting with lowercase character. Lowercase character. But is it recommended to do like this? Not recommended, but still it is valid. But still it is valid. You see Java C space demo.java. I'm able to compile Java C space demo. I'm able to run. I'm able to run. But that is not the recommended convention for the name. Writing small d for the class name is not recommended. It is not recommended. So now you understand what is the naming convention for? What is the naming convention recommended for the classes? What is the naming convention that is recommended for the classes? Are you able to understand this, guys? Are you able to understand this? Okay. Next one, naming convention for variables. Variables naming convention. Variables naming convention. Class name naming convention we understood. What is the naming convention for the class name? Every word first character uppercase. Recommended to write every word first character as uppercase like this. Variables naming convention. When it comes to variables naming convention, a variable name can have any number of words. Variable name can have any number of words. Any number of words. Variable naming convention can have any number of words. Okay. Variable names should start with lowercase. I mean, recommended to start variable name with a lowercase letter. Variable name can have any number of words. Recommended to start variable name with lowercase letter. If variable name contains multiple words, then recommended to write from second word onwards. Every first character in uppercase. Variable name contains multiple words. If a variable name contains multiple words, then recommended to write from first character as uppercase from second word. Recommended to write. Variable name can contain any number of words, and first word all characters in the lowercase. If variable name contains multiple words, then recommended to write first word all characters in lowercase, and from second word onwards, every word first character in uppercase. This is the recommendation. See this? Variables naming convention. Variable name can have any number of words. Recommended to start variable name with lowercase. If variable name contains multiple words, then recommended to write first word all characters in lowercase, and from second word onwards, every word first character in uppercase. Simple like this. Int age. One word is there. Okay. Recommended to start variable name with lowercase letter. I have taken with the lowercase letter. All the characters are in the lowercase because only one word is available. For example, if I have integer user age, you can write like this. But what is the recommendation? User is one word, age is another word. So first word all characters in the lowercase. From second word onwards, every word first character in uppercase. User one word, all lowercase. Second word onwards, every first character uppercase, capital A. User age. So this is the naming convention. For example, if you are having a credit card number, how can we write like this? Long. Credit is one word, card is one word, number is one word. So second word first character uppercase, third word first character uppercase, like this. So this is the recommended naming convention for variables, guys. Variable name can have any number of words. Recommended to start variable name with lowercase letter. If a variable name contains multiple words, then recommended to write first word all characters in lowercase, and from second word onwards, every word first character in uppercase. See here, there is only one word. All the characters are in the lowercase. Here there are two words available. First word all characters in the lowercase, second word first character uppercase. Credit card number. There are three words available. Credit is one word, card is one word, number is one word. First word all characters are lowercase. Second word first character uppercase. Third word first character uppercase. This is the naming convention for variables. Understand the difference between class name naming convention and variable name naming convention. Class name naming convention for the class name and a naming convention for the variables. Are you able to find the difference between those two? Class name, every word first character is uppercase. In the variable, all the first word characters are lowercase. From second word, every first character is uppercase. From second word onwards, every first character is uppercase. That is the naming convention for variables. variables. Are you guys clear with my point? Now, when you see that, when we have written some programs, welcome.java, can you see system? Can you see system here? System. In system is a predefined class. That's why S is a capital. System is a predefined class. S is a capital. Okay, good. Next one, methods, guys. Methods naming convention. Methods naming convention. Here, thing is, in the Java, for variable names and method names, naming convention is same. For the variable names and method names, naming convention is the same. Okay, so method name can have any number of words. Method name can have any number of words. Recommended to start method name with lowercase letter. Recommended to start method name with lowercase letter. If method name contains multiple words, then recommended to write first word all characters in lowercase, and from second word onwards every word first character in uppercase. Sir, if variable names and method names conventions are same, if variable names and method names conventions are same, then how can we differentiate whether it is a variable or whether it is a method? For the method, curly braces will be available. Main is a method. Method will have a braces. Method will have a braces like this. Okay, if I want to write a method called save, one word is available. I'm writing like this, save. If I want to write a method save user. So save is one word, user is one word. Okay, first word all characters in the lowercase, from second word onwards everything is in the uppercase. Now I want to write one method, get to welcome message. Get welcome message. See here, there are three words available. Get is one word, welcome is one word, message is one word. So three words available in the method name. Variable naming convention and method naming convention is same in the Java. Variable naming convention, method name is the same. The difference between the variable name and method name, variable names will not have the braces. Parentheses will not be available for the variable names, whereas for the method names, parentheses will be available. Whereas for the methods, parentheses will be available. So this is a method name. Parenthesis represents it is a method. Get to welcome message. Get is one word. All characters are in the lowercase because it is a first word. Now welcome message. Welcome is one word, second word, message is one word, third word. In the second word, first character is uppercase. In the third word, first character is also uppercase. Variable naming convention, method name convention is same. Variable names will not contain the parentheses. After the method name, parentheses will be available. After the method name, parentheses will be available. Now, if you see my previous classes, now, can you see here? I have written a method name, invoke greet API. Now you understand why I am writing this method name. See here, get to welcome message. Why I am writing the method name as get to welcome message like this? Get is one word, welcome is one word, message is one word. Can you see? Greet client is a variable. How I am writing the greet client? It is my user defined variable. Greet is a variable. Greet is a variable. Greet client. Greet is a first word. Client is a second word. First word, all characters are lowercase. Second word, first character is uppercase. As it is a variable, parenthesis is not available. And get to welcome message. Get is first word, all lowercase. Welcome second word, first character is uppercase. Message is third word, first character is uppercase. Understand? Method names contains parentheses. Variable names doesn't contain parentheses. Now, by looking at the program, some people will understand. Ashok, you told that @ is not allowed in the Java. @ I am using here. how you are using at the rate in the line number 10, how you are using at the rate in the line number 13, how you are using at the rate in the line number 7. So that is a different concept, guys. There is a concept called annotations in the Java. When it comes to annotations, you will understand what is at the rate. Here I'm not using at the rate for identifier. So this at the rate auto void, it is not a identifier here. It is an annotation. That is a special concept in the Java. These annotations introduced in the Java 1.5 version. In the coming classes, we will understand what is annotation. Okay. We are not able to understand this program. This program is Java real-time project batch. After 6 months, you will understand what is this program, not now. This program is, we have written this program in the Java project batch. After 6 months, you will understand this program, not now. After 6 months, you will develop this kind of programs. It is a real-time project batch program. Okay? You cannot understand now because you are still in the basics of the Java. This is a real-time project batch. That is the last part of our course. That is the last part of our course. We are in the beginning stage. Just titles are coming. That's it. Picture baki hai bhai. Picture baki hai. Just titles started. That's it. Picture baki hai. बहुत picture baki hai bhai. बाद में पता चलेगा. Okay. Naming conventions. These naming conventions are also called as coding conventions. Naming conventions are also called as coding conventions. So whatever the naming conventions which are following by Java, they are telling us to follow the same. Now, can I use all uppercase letters for a class? Can I write a class name with all uppercase letters? Guys, come on. Can I write a class with all uppercase letters? Is it valid or it is invalid? Invalid. But is it recommended? Writing a class with all uppercase letters is valid, guys. It is a valid. But recommended? Not recommended. Not recommended. A class name can have all uppercase characters. You can write it, but not recommended. But not recommended. Yeah. Can you see naming conventions for class? Can you see the naming conventions for the class? Naming conventions for a class name? Can you read this? Recommended to write every word first character as uppercase in the class name. So these are some of the examples. These are some of the examples. Now, naming conventions for the variables. Naming conventions for the variables. What is the naming convention for the variables? Naming convention for the variables. For all the characters in the lowercase. All the characters in the lowercase. If it contains multiple words, first word all characters lowercase, second word onwards every first character as uppercase. That is the naming convention for variable. Variable naming conventions and the methods naming conventions are same. Variable naming conventions and method naming conventions are same. Variable naming conventions and method naming conventions are same. Then when I look at the identifier, how can I understand whether it is a variable name or whether it is a method name? How can we differentiate? How can we differentiate variable name and method name? How can we differentiate variable name and method name? Guys, how can I differentiate variable name and method name? How can we differentiate a variable name and method name? Parenthesis. Variable names will not have the parenthesis and method names will have the parenthesis. Parenthesis. Got it? Remember that. Variable names will not have the parenthesis. Variable names, variables, and methods, naming convention, naming conventions. Naming convention is same, but naming convention is same. Naming convention is same, but methods will have parenthesis. Methods will have parenthesis. Methods will have parenthesis. Methods will have parenthesis. Variables will not have parenthesis. Methods will have the parenthesis. Variables will not have the parenthesis. That is the difference. Okay. Naming convention for constants. Naming conventions for constants. When we are working with a program, we will declare some variables as a constant variables. Constants means the values will not be changed. The variable whose value is not going to change, it is called as a constant variable. Okay. Constant means fixed value. Constant means fixed value. Okay. So here, when we are working with a constant, recommended to write all characters, recommended to write constant variable, all characters in uppercase. If constant variable contains multiple words, every word recommended to separate with underscore. Okay. Constant means fixed value, guys, whose value is not going to change. Value will not change. It is fixed. Pi value. You can see pi value, right? Pi value is not going to change. Okay. Constant means fixed value. Value will not change in future. It is fixed. When we are working with the constants in the Java, recommended to write a constant variable all characters in uppercase. If constant variable contains multiple words, recommended to use underscore, with all uppercase characters. Suppose, for example, I want to represent a variable min age. Okay, int min age, like this. Int min age. Min age is, suppose for example, to get married, minimum age required is 21. Int min underscore age. Then int max underscore age is equal to 60. Okay, these two values are not going to change. For example, if you go to any, nowadays you can see matrimony websites in the internet. If you want to find your life partner in the online, there are some apps available. There are some websites available. So if you want to create your profile in the matrimonial website, can 10 years old person can upload your profile in the matrimony for marriage? Can 10 years person upload a profile in the matrimony website for marriage? No, right? There is some limit. Some minimum age and some maximum age is available. Some minimum age and some maximum age is available. Can 90 years old person can upload a profile in the matrimony for marriage? 90 years old person? No. We are going to decide some min age and max age. Okay, so these are some constants. These are some constants. So when we are going to make a constant, the variable, if you want to take the variable as a constant variable, first of all, to represent the variable as a constant in the Java, we don't use a constant keyword. Constant is an unused keyword. To make the variable as a constant, there is a modifier called final. If I want to represent this as a final variable, right? Final is the keyword we are going to use. Final is the keyword we are going to use to represent this as a constant variable. When I take the final keyword, it is a reserved word in the Java. When I take a final keyword in the Java, this variable value cannot be changed in the future. It is a fixed value. So as this variable is a final variable, it is called as a constant variable. For the constant variable, recommended to take all the characters in uppercase. It represents as a constant. Min underscore age, max underscore age. Okay, so min is one word, age is one word. When there are two words, when there are more words, recommended to use underscore with all uppercase characters. Min underscore age, max underscore age. For example, you want to declare pi value, int pi, 3.14 something value will be available. Pi value is not going to change. It is a fixed value. It is a fixed value. Are you able to understand what is the naming convention for constants? Able to understand what is the naming convention for constants? Come on, guys. Naming convention for constants. Next one, naming convention for packages. When we are working with the packages in the Java, naming conventions for packages. So package name can have any number of characters. Okay, package name can have any number of characters. Package name can have any number of characters. Recommended to use only lowercase letters. Recommended to use only lowercase letters. Package name can have any number of characters and any number of words. Recommended to use only lowercase letters in package names. If a package name having multiple words, we will use dot. If a package name contains multiple words, we will use dot. For example, I want to use a package name java.lang package available. These all are the predefined packages given by Java. Java.lang package will be available. Java.lang, java.io, java.util. Suppose if I want to create my package, I will create in.ashok.it. You see here, java.util is a package. It is a predefined package. This is the naming convention following by Java. Java.util is a package name. Java.io is a package name. Java.lang is a package name. Okay, guys, java.lang, java.io, java.util, in.ashok.it. Tomorrow when you go for a company, com.oracle, and com.ibm, like these packages will be available. So package name can have any number of characters, can have any number of words. You see, here I am using one package name from the Spring Framework. Can you see here? org.springframework.js beans.factory.annotation. This is a package name. Any number of characters, any number of words. So when if package name contains multiple words, then we will use dot to separate words. Clear with my point, guys? These are the naming conventions for the packages. Whatever the naming conventions we are discussing, these naming conventions are mandatory or these naming conventions are optional. Okay, guys. Here, when I am writing a constant, if you write the constant with the final, you cannot change it. You cannot change this variable value. It is a fixed value. If you don't write it as a final, then you can change in the future based on the requirement. You can change the value based on the requirement. If you use final, that value cannot be changed in the future. You cannot modify this variable value when the final is available. If the final is not available, you can reassign the value for the variable. Now, you can reassign the value for this variable when the final is not available. When the final is available, it is a fixed value. That value you cannot modify in your program. That is the meaning of a final. Final means a constant. So these all are the naming conventions, guys. These naming conventions are followed by Sun Microsystem, and they are telling us to follow the same naming convention so that the program readability will be available. The program's readability will be available. These are naming conventions in the Java. Can you please read these naming conventions now? Java naming conventions. Java naming conventions. Java language followed some standards or conventions, I can say. Java language followed some standards or conventions for predefined packages, classes, and methods. Java language suggested Java programmers also to follow the same standards or conventions. Following these standards or conventions is not mandatory but highly recommended. It's not mandatory but highly recommended. So what is the naming convention for the class name? Class name can contain any number of words without spaces. Recommended to write every word first character as uppercase in the class name, like this. Variables. Variable name can have any number of words without spaces. Recommended to start variable name with a lowercase letter. If a variable name contain multiple words, then recommended to write first word all characters in lowercase, and from second word onwards every word first character in the uppercase. So like this. Method naming convention. Method name can have any number of words without spaces. White space is not accepted. Method name can have any number of words without spaces. Recommended to start method name with lowercase letter. Okay. If a method name contains multiple words, then recommended to write first word all characters in lowercase, and from second word onwards every word first character in the uppercase. Every word uppercase, first character. Main is one method. Save is one method. Save user is one method. Get welcome message is one method. You see the naming convention that I am following now. So it is recommended to follow these conventions which are suggested by Sun Microsystem. Variables and methods naming conventions are same. Variables and methods naming conventions are same. Then how to differentiate a variable name and method name? Variable name will not have the parentheses, whereas method name will have the parentheses. Naming conventions for the constants. What is the meaning of a constant? Constant means fixed value. Value will not change in future. Program cannot modify that value. Constant means fixed value. Program cannot modify. How to declare a constant in the Java? There is a keyword called final. Now see here. Let me go to one simple program. Here I'm taking a variable as integer age is equal to 30. Now can I change the value again to 35? Can I change the value to 35? Yes or no? Here I am initializing the variable. Here I am reinitializing the variable. I am modifying the value. So this is a normal variable. If I make it as a final, now see, for the final variable, reinitialization is not accepted. It is giving error. The final variable cannot be assigned. It must be a blank and not using in the compound assignment. Okay, guys. So you should not do like this. If you want to make it as a constant, keep the final. When you keep it as a final, reinitialization is not possible. Whenever we are declaring the variable as a final constant, recommended to write like this. All characters in the uppercase. If it is having two characters, 2 words, if we have 2 words, recommended to separate with underscore. This is for a constant. When I look at a variable name like this, I will understand that it is a constant variable. By looking at the variable name, I can say that it is a constant variable. All characters in uppercase. If 2 words are available, every word will be separated with underscore. That is the naming convention for the constant. Okay, guys. Next one, package names. So in the initial classes, we discussed Java programming structure. We discussed about Java programming structure, right? Class package will be available. Package statement will be available. Import statement will be available. Class declaration will be available. Variables will be available. Methods will be available. Whenever you are writing a package statement, it is recommended to use all lowercase letters in the package names. If a package name contains multiple words, then we will use dot symbol to separate the words. Java.lang, Java.io, Java.util, in.ashokit, com.oracle, com.ibm. Like this, we will write the package names. So these are the examples. For the package names. And in future, we are going to get one more concept called interfaces concept, guys. In future, we are going to get one more concept called interfaces concept. Okay, note, class names and interface names conventions are same. When we are going to use a class name or interface name in future, we are going to get an interface concept like this. Okay, when we get the interface, the naming convention for the interface, every word first character uppercase. Class name and interface names conventions are same. Class naming conventions and interface naming conventions are same. Class names and interface names conventions are same. A class name can contain any number of words. Interface name also can contain any number of words. Recommended to write every word first character as uppercase in the class name. Similarly, for interface name also recommended to write every word first character as uppercase. These are the Java naming conventions. People will call them as Java coding standards. Java coding standards, I can say. Java naming conventions are, we can call it as Java coding standards, best practices that you need to follow as a Java developer. These are the best practices you need to follow as a Java developer. Let me show you. We have developed a lot of code, guys. We have developed a lot of code in the Java real-time project batch. So don't worry about that code. Just to see the naming convention. In future, we are going to write hundreds of lines of code. Can you see the naming convention here? Guys, can you see the naming convention that I am using for the package name? in.ashokit.service. Can you see all the characters are in the lowercase with the dot symbol? Can you see? Can you see the naming conventions? in.ashokid.service. Am I following package naming conventions properly? When I'm developing a project, am I following package naming convention properly? Come on, guys. Yes, I'm following this as a package naming convention. And can you see class name, user management service IMPL. User management service IMPL. Am I following the class naming convention? User is one word, management is one word, service is one word, IMPL is one word. I'm following the class naming convention. Here logger is a variable. All the characters are in the lowercase logger. It is one word. So when the variable is having only one word, all are in the lowercase. Here you see user master repo. User is one word, master is one word, repo is one word. It is a variable naming convention. Okay, guys, variable naming convention, method naming conventions are also called as camel case format. Camel case format. Okay, first character, first word, all lowercase. Second word, first character, uppercase. Third word, first character, uppercase. Email utils, this is a variable. Email utils is a variable. So email, first word, all lowercase. Utils, second word, U uppercase. Random is a single word. All are in the lowercase. My method name, save user. Save is one word, all lowercase. User. Second word, first character uppercase, parenthesis available. So this is a method. This is a variable. When you look at this, there is no parenthesis. All the characters are in the lowercase. That means it is a variable. And can you see activate user account? Activate user account. Activate is one word, user is one word, account is one word. Activate, first word all the lowercase, second word first character uppercase, third word first character uppercase. You are seeing my real-time project, our Java real-time project code. You see there are almost 200 lines of code is available. Read email body. Read is one word, email is one word, body is one word. This is a method name because parenthesis available. You see my naming conventions that I am writing. URL is a variable, one word, all are lowercase. Mail body is a variable. Mail first word, all the lowercase. Body second word, first character is uppercase. Am I following these naming conventions in my project also? Guys, are we following these naming conventions in the project also? Come on. Yes, we are following these naming conventions in the project. It is highly recommended. Java suggested that. So we are going to follow those naming conventions. You see, in the beginning only, I am trying to compare our concepts with the real-time project batch. In the initial days only, it is completely project-oriented training, guys. It is completely project-oriented training. In the initial days only, I'm comparing our concepts with the project that I am developing in one of my project batch. Java real-time project batch. How companies, in the companies, how we are going to develop the project, in the same way we are going to develop the project. So how I am following the naming conventions there, same thing we are learning as a beginner in the core Java. Samjhe? Naming conventions. All of you got the clarity? So today, what are the topics that we discussed today? Today we discussed about identifiers, we discussed about keywords, and we discussed about naming conventions. Guys, with this, our first chapter completed in core Java. Chapter 1, or I can say unit 1. First chapter completed. So what we have learnt in the first chapter? In the first chapter, we learnt what is Java. In the first chapter, we learnt what is Java, and we discussed about Java features. We discussed about Java features, and we discussed about Java setup, Java environment setup, installation part, Java environment setup, and we discussed about JDK versus JRE versus JVM, Java program execution flow, Java program execution flow also we discussed. Java programs development we have done. Simple Java programs development we have done. Java programs development we have done. Then after we discussed about variables concept. We discussed about data types concept, and we discussed about identifiers today, and we discussed about reserved words in Java, 53 reserved words available in the Java, and we discussed about Java naming conventions or Java coding standards, and we discussed about Java comments also. So these are the things that we have learnt in our chapter 1. These are the things that we have learnt in our chapter 1. Did we cover all these things, guys? What is Java? Java features, Java environment setup, JDK versus JRE versus JVM, Java programs execution flow, Java programs development, compilation and execution stuff we have done, and we discussed about variables concept, and we discussed about data types concept, we discussed about identifiers, we discussed about reserved words, we discussed about Java coding standards. I can also call it as naming conventions. And we discussed about Java comments. So with this, our first chapter completed in the core Java. So tomorrow, our second chapter is going to start, guys. Chapter 2 is going to start. In the chapter 2, we are going to discuss about operators and control statements. In the second chapter, we are going to discuss about operators and control statements. Your control statements, nothing but your decision-making statements will be available. Loops will be available. Looping statements will be available. And branching statements will be available. Break, continue, return, branching statements will be available in the chapter 2. In the chapter 3, we are going to learn arrays and strings. In the chapter 3, we are going to learn arrays and strings. Once it is completed, then our chapter 4 is OOPS. Our chapter 4 is OOPS concepts. Okay, so we are done with our first chapter. The basics of Java we have done. Okay, guys. So tomorrow we are going to start our chapter 2. I am working on the notes preparation also, guys. Chapter wise, I am preparing the notes as well. So here, this is the notes that I have prepared. I have prepared the notes. I will share these notes in another 2 to 3 days of time. Chapter wise, I'm going to share now. So this is the material that I have prepared. So first I have given what is full stack development, introduction part I have given. And here I have prepared chapter 1 notes, unit 1 notes is prepared, completed already. What is Java and Java features with the diagrams, complete theoretical part, how to install the Java and how to set the path for Java and Java program execution flow and programming structure. Whatever I am discussing in the class, it is my handwritten material. How to compile the program, how to run the program, how to compile the program, how to run, what are the translators, JVM architecture, our class diagram I kept here, JVM architecture, okay, variables concept, data types concept, primitive data types and floating data types, character data type, Boolean data type, variables program, Java naming conventions that we discussed today, okay, coding conventions, naming conventions, identifiers, comments in the Java, all the reserved keywords in the Java. Yesterday's diagram I updated here. reserved words in the Java. Then unit 2. So tomorrow we are going to learn this unit 2 operators. Operators we are going to learn, and control statements we are going to learn in the chapter 2. Control statements we are going to learn in the chapter 2. So in the chapter 3, we are going to learn arrays and strings. And in the chapter 4, we are going to learn our OOPS concepts. So this is the material I am preparing. So once I complete this material, I will share it with you people. So this is going to become very beautiful material. I am writing this material, everything from the scratch. Along with the programs, I am writing everything from the scratch. It will help you a lot to prepare for the interviews. Okay, guys. So tomorrow I will confirm the timings for the front-end classes, guys. So tomorrow I'm going to confirm the timings for the front-end classes, and I will give the details how to join for the front-end classes. From Wednesday, our front-end classes will be available day after tomorrow. So I will tell you how to attend the front-end classes from Wednesday. Tomorrow I will confirm you the details for that. Okay, guys. So these notes you are going to get. I'm working on this part. I will share it with you people. Okay. Very good, guys. Very good. So with this, we completed with our chapter 1. So tomorrow we are going to learn our chapter 2. Chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, we are going to learn. I'm going to update the notes that whatever we have completed so far. I'm going to our website. You guys can access the notes from our website itself, guys. I'm uploading the notes on the website on daily basis. You guys can download it. So here exam 1 is available. So now I'm going to upload the complete chapter 1 notes. I'm going to upload the complete chapter 1 notes. Whatever we have done till today, everything is available in the website. You guys can download it. So once you log into the website, you can see my courses page. There you can download our class notes. 17 Java full stack. So here Java program execution flow, full stack introduction, Java introduction. Now we don't need this all the stuff, guys. So because everything is available in the chapter 1 now. Everything is available in the chapter 1 notes. Complete notes is available. You can download these notes from the website. Thank you. I will see you in the tomorrow session. Tomorrow we have offline class. Okay, guys. Fine, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Good night.